Hey, hello. Welcome to episode number 46 of the People We Love podcast. I am Adam Choi. What's up? So this week something that I love is my Keurig machine. Some people say these machines don't make the coffee as strong, but it's strong enough for me at least. Anyway, for more about this podcast, check out peoplewelovepodcast.com. That's peoplewelovepodcast.com. The Instagram handle is peoplewelovepodcast, and you can find me on Instagram as well, Adam Choi, my name, if you want to follow me also. And please remember to tap subscribe or follow on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. And of course, 5-star positive reviews on iTunes are greatly appreciated as well. So, today's guest is actor and stand-up comedian Mallory Jean Fuccella. Originally from Doylestown, Pennsylvania, Mallory grew up a nervous kid with a unibrow and with a fear of illness. But she always loved performing and soon got rid of that unibrow and headed to the stage. She's done theater and after college took a job with a traveling children's theater show where she taught kids self-worth and how to yo-yo. This is also when she dove into stand-up comedy during her nights on the road. But it was in high school where Mallory met someone who was particularly encouraging, her inspiring theater teacher, Shawn Wright. So without further ado, here's Mallory Jean Fuccella. So it's good to see you today.
Good to see you too.
Mallory Jean Fuccella.
Yeah, nailed it.
Did I say it right?
Yeah, you did.
I just want to make sure. That was nerve-wracking. I don't know why. Maybe because you have 3 names, it's a lot to...
Well, I did just tell you to say all 3 of my names.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did it.
You nailed it.
I succeeded. So how are you doing today?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
You're asking the questions too?
Yeah.
That's fine,
No, that's actually, I have to get better at that because it happens every time where I'm like, but so tell me about your childhood. When I do interviews,
any kind of
interview, because I'm not used to it. Like, if we were at a party, I'd want to be like, so no, tell me about your upbringing and how'd you get here?
But that's
I know I'm here to be interviewed.
Yeah, but that's the best thing about, or that's not the best thing, but it's like what you're supposed to do is ask people about themselves.
I know.
In conversations, because that's what everyone's favorite subject matter
exactly.
is themselves.
That's why I have thousands of friends.
Yeah. Is it right? Because you asked everyone about themselves?
Well, I think I think it's to a fault. Like, because we just did that. You were like, how are you doing? And I was like, fine. How about you? Let's talk about, you know?
We were even talking about me before we started this recording.
Yeah. So it's an intention of mine is to be able to insert myself and talk about it. But yeah, it's so easy. I mean, to me, it's easy to be like, great, tell me about that.
Yeah, well,
you know?
you can ask me questions on this recording,
good.
But I reserve the right not to answer all of them.
That's fair.
Or at least not completely, depending on what you ask. But for real, I appreciate you dropping by the studio for sure.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh, for sure. Why don't we get into it? Why don't you tell me about the day you were born and the drive home from the hospital?
Great.
And we'll get started. That is actually what I ask almost everyone. And then I assume they were born in a hospital. I think everyone's been born in a hospital.
No, like
so
doula home births?
Not yet.
Not yet.
That's coming.
Yeah.
That's coming.
That's so funny because it did make me think of, I look like a different ethnicity as a newborn. So my newborn photos do not look like I came from my parents.
What ethnicity did you look like when you were born?
Some like Asian country, maybe maybe a Hawaiian,
and
Filipino.
And you're
I'm Italian. Yeah. So since the beginning, I haven't fit in.
That's all right. Babies are weird looking.
No, I'm just kidding.
All the other babies where you were being bullied in the what do they call it? Where all the babies are in the
nursery or something.
Yeah, where they're in their little cribs. And
already they're like, you don't look like your parents.
Yeah.
No. So I was born in Doylestown, Pennsylvania.
What's that near?
It's like an hour north of Philadelphia.
Okay.
2 hours out of New York.
Okay.
Yeah. Close to, I mean, a good place to grow up, very suburban, kind of a bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you. What do you remember from like elementary school, like early on? Like what kind of kid were you?
A nervous kid.
You were a nervous kid?
Yeah. There was a kid, and I still have a fear of like illness and dying.
Yeah.
And there was a kid, his name was Andrew Suey, and he threw up all through kindergarten. So I had like a fear of going to class because I'd like didn't want to throw up and like to be around. Like he was like a sick kid. And so he threw up like all through elementary school.
He's throwing up all the time.
All the time.
What does that mean? Like once a week or?
At least once a week.
You know what? If a kid is throwing up once a month,
like I don't
it
even
will
know.
feel like once a week in your memory.
Exactly. Yeah. And like it was just it was so traumatic. And I remember going to a childhood.
Maybe he was a nervous kid.
Yeah, seriously. I don't even know if he's still alive.
Oh, no.
No, I went to a childhood therapist and she was like trying to get to so she was like, why don't you bring like a throw up emergency kit? Like, whereas because she was like, why are you so scared of throw up? And I don't know why. And I still don't know why.
That's scared. You're grossed out by it.
Yeah. And you're like, yeah. So I remember Andrew Suey throwing up.
Wait, so this is a serious enough matter where you had to talk to a professional because you did not want to go to kindergarten.
Well, I didn't talk to her till like second grade, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wait, he was throwing up all through elementary school. Oh my God.
And I remember my mom, I think even she was like, like Mallory's, can we just not have them in the same classroom?
Yeah.
Yeah, I also went to Catholic school, so Our Lady of Mount Carmel.
And when were you there?
Kindergarten through sixth grade, and then I went over to public school.
So you're in Catholic school, kindergarten through sixth grade.
Yeah,
and that was all girls school, or
no? It was co-ed.
Yeah,
but like religion class, go to church every week.
And how did you feel about all that?
Pretty bad.
You didn't like it?
No.
Did they beat you with the ruler or whatever? Like what were they allowed to do?
A nun pushed me though, and that was a thing. My art teacher.
Punch her in the face after that, or no?
No, I just I didn't know what I did wrong. I picked the wrong whatever. I'm not gonna get into that story because I want to tell you the reason when I knew that I wasn't Catholic was. Are you Catholic?
No.
Or familiar with?
I'm Jewish. Similar.
Okay. So absolving of sins. You do that in second grade when you're 8 years old. You confess your sins to the priest for like the first time.
Yeah.
And there was like this really hot priest.
Oh.
And I mean, now I say he's hot, but like I think as a kid I was like, he's so cute.
Yeah.
And I wanted to share my sins with that priest.
Oh.
And then we had like an option to like do it between the doors or face to face.
And this is 8th grade?
No, this is second grade. I'm 8 years old.
Oh, 8
so I'm
years
like,
old, not
why
8th
is
grade.
these urges? Yeah, I'm definitely not Catholic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny. So I chose face to face.
And what did you tell him?
Nothing happened. I told him like, that's funny. I don't really remember.
What kind of a sins does a second grader have?
Seriously.
Stole candy.
Maybe told a white lie.
Actually, kids do terrible things. I don't know why I wouldn't think kids have sins. They just don't know their sins.
They don't know their sins.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. 90% of things kids do are terrible.
Yeah.
No, I don't know about that.
No, that's true.
I used to be one.
Yeah. Do you like kids?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Not really.
No.
No, I do. I would like my own. I don't like other people's kids. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
I have no ill will.
Too much work.
Yeah. Too much money, too much work.
Yeah. So much money. The kid, I babysit sort of. And this kid, oh my God, I went to the bathroom and, I have those Invisaligns and he squirted hot pepper juice from pepperoncinis into my Invisalign braces.
Wow.
So when I got back from the bathroom, I popped them in and he's like, giggling and I was like, what did you do? And he's laughing so hard.
You didn't taste
I didn't taste it at first and then it stung my gums and I popped him out and put him in a glass of water and he was laughing so hard. He's like, I put peppers in it. I'm like, well, you're an asshole.
Were you able to clean that out?
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of a decent prank, I guess.
It actually, yeah. I mean,
it's not bad. I guess because you're not going to get really hurt if you were able to wash it
hurt.
out.
Smart. It was quick thinking. I wasn't gone long.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it could have been worse. Like he could have thrown the braces away
How
or
old
something.
Is
He's 7.
Is he going to be a comedian too?
He won't be a comedian. I think he's going to be a DJ.
Yeah. Figures.
Yeah. A DJ and a misogynist.
Yeah. That will get you far in LA, I think.
You might have to edit that out, actually.
Oh.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know who
Which part did you say the misogynist part? Which is more offensive?
I don't know.
Okay, so you were elementary school and you're confessing to your priest.
Confessing to my priest. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Thank God. And then, so then in 6th grade, we had my family. I have an older sister and younger brother. Each one of us did Catholic school till 6th grade, and then we had an option to go into public school. So I wanted to see what the cool kids.
What does that mean that you had an option? Your parents gave you the option, or, or they had the option?
My parents gave us the option. So, because Catholic school goes until 8th grade, and then your high school is 9th through 12th. So,
and there was a 9th through 12 Catholic school, also.
Right. So it was like, do I want to continue my Catholic education, or the middle school starts at 7th, right? So,
and you and your siblings all chose public school. Was part of the choice? I mean, I'm guessing you didn't sound like a huge fan of Catholicism, but did it have to do with your older sibling going to public school?
Oh, that's a good question. Maybe a little bit. It just seems like more variety and more options, you know? Yeah, no, it was a pretty easy answer.
And what do you remember when you went to public school for the first time in those early days in 7th
grade and 8th grade? They're so bad. Let's see. Like, I had good friends. I was always in like the theater group. So you know, always nice kids, but definitely bullied. This kid on the bus, like, I had a unibrow, but like, I think my parents didn't know, like, what age do we get rid of the unibrow? And then it wasn't until I was getting bullied for my unibrow and mustache to.
They didn't like approach and be like, we can help you get rid of your unibrow if you want.
The bully or my parents?
Your parents.
No, I guess, I don't know. I think part of them were like, no, it's your culture, you're Italian. And I'm like, well, no, kids are mean. Yeah. So we're going to have to get rid of that. So I remember that. And I did, yeah, it's so funny because there's some really vivid memories and then some not so vivid memories. But I remember I didn't like middle school.
Yeah, no one likes middle school because you're not an adult, you're not a kid, so it's like
no one believes you. Yeah,
no, it's terrible. At least in elementary school, you're a kid and you're committed to being a kid.
Yeah,
in your high school, that's like adult. You're driving, you're fucking doing. Adult things.
You're like pretty much done growing, or growing up. Like you're gonna be that kind of person probably for a while.
Yeah, you never escape who you are in high school.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah.
What about theater? So you said you were in like the theater groups. Were you always interested in performing and that stuff?
Yeah, I did. I mean, even through elementary school, I worked at a children's theater. So it was children's theater by children. So we would like do, but it was a whole playhouse and company. So I would do that.
Is that something your parents exposed you to? Or is that something you're like, I want to do this? What got you, do you even remember?
I took an acting class.
When you were how young?
When I was...
Really young,
maybe 3rd grade. And I just it just clicked with me. And I think my parents knew that too.
Yeah. And you've always done started doing theater.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing, I think I saw on your Instagram, you said actor, comedian.
Yeah.
In that order.
Yeah.
So acting is number 1 for you. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Always has been. Comedy kind of came.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we will.
Actually, the way that I have that written, I think I have to change it. It's a Zoolander reference. You know, when he's like actor / model and not the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a reference to that.
Yeah. But you meant it in this.
I mean it because
a lot of people do say comedian who also is an actor.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Not that there's one better than the other.
No, not at all. But I'm setting it straight. I'm not here to do yourself stand up. Yeah.
What kind of, so you were doing theater, but what kind of stuff were you into as far as like entertainment? Were you watching a lot of TV, movies? What kind of genres were you into? Like what kind of stuff did you watch as a kid and through middle
definitely
school, high school?
Like Who's Line, like improv, SNL, of course, like definitely comedic shows is what I've always been drawn to. But
you were more involved in theater doing dramatic performances or what kind of theater stuff? Musicals even or what kind?
Yeah, some musicals, but a little bit of both, but kind of always cast as like the funny relief person. Yeah. Like I was never like the small, cute blonde girl with no opinions, and
one eyebrow.
And yeah, exactly. I was just like the big weird ant in the corner. Yeah. So yeah, I was always cast as those sorts of roles. And I also took an improv class maybe in junior high. And I definitely was like, oh, this is cool too. I didn't know that was even an option to like pursue it you know?
Yeah, that's what everyone says who's sitting there. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't even know that this was a thing, especially if you don't come from, if you're not from New York
New
City
York,
or
yeah,
LA.
right. And my parents didn't. I mean, I remember I tried to make a slideshow. I wanted to go to this camp in New York, and like I could take a train. It's not that far.
Yeah, you're not far, but you're far enough.
Yeah, and my parents were like, "You're not taking a train at 15 to New York." But I was like, which I appreciate them for, but they kind of. If they listened to me when I was young, I feel like it would have been a different story. You would have
got more of a head start.
Yeah, something. Yeah. Like I've always known I've wanted to do it, but I kind of had to follow, their rules. And even in college, they were like, you can study acting, but you need to study something else just in case. So.
I wonder how many of these rules are parents' rules or society, like making parents think a certain way. You get it though. Like, they don't want you to be an actor. They didn't want you to be an actor? Or did they? They wanted you to backup plan.
They wanted a backup plan. Yeah. And I think they still like hope that it works out, but I also think they equally hope that I meet a doctor or something, I think so it's like the hopes are equal, which means you don't really mean that you want me to be an actor.
Yeah. They want you to be successful.
I think so. And happy and
paying your bills or whatever.
Paying bills,
all that stuff.
Right.
Cool. Did you said you had a acting teacher in high school?
In high school. Shawn Wright. Yeah, she was the
You're
acting.
Smiling as you say her name.
I know. She was the acting program director at my high school, and she was just like a cool woman and just funny. She did Second City in her heyday.
So so you had someone who knew what the hell they were doing.
She knew
acting teacher.
Totally.
Someone who had that experience with Second City.
Yeah, not like a
high school productions, community theater kind of thing.
Yeah, she was the
not that there's anything wrong with
nothing wrong with that, and
theater.
Spreading theater to the youth is important no matter what. But she was the real deal, and the shows that the schools did, and because of her, were so out of this world. Like we were written up in newspapers and things. She directed them,
and she probably produced the majority of everything that needed to.
Kind of all of it.
Make it happen.
And I think why she comes up is yes, my parents believe in me and believed in me, but they're not artists. They're not actors. They don't know any part of the world of it.
What do they do?
My dad's in sales and my mom's a preschool teacher.
Okay.
So she was the first person that was like, you're made for this. This is not, I know you're doing this as your high school hobby right now, but like, this is your path. And she just kind of, it was super, super cool to have someone like that, especially in those years where you're still like, I don't know if I can actually pursue this. And she said, oh, yeah, you can.
So you weren't thinking about pursuing performing in any capacity before you really met this person? Is that what it sounds like?
No, I
were, but she gave you that confidence, push, whatever, encouragement.
Yeah, because I think if it were up to my parents, I enjoy a lot of different things too, but not enough. This is kind of the only thing. Like I, would have done broadcast journalism and was maybe going to do, something like that with news and radio.
Yeah, you had the voice of reason, your parents, the voice of reason, but she sounded more like the voice of someone who was going to encourage your passion and feed that.
And feed it, yeah.
And you met her right away. The first high school was ninth grade or 8th grade? 9th grade? 10th,
our high school was weird. We started in 10th grade. So it was 10th, 11th, 12th.
Okay.
Yeah. So 6 shows with her. And over the 3 years, obviously, in the college transition, we got very close. And I don't know if she knows, or even if people that I don't know. We were sitting on the edge of the stage, and I was like, it was after the final senior show, and I started crying because I was like, wow, this realistically could be the last time I ever perform. And she was like, Mallory.
Ever perform? It's really what you were thinking.
Well, I have such a fatalist. I think the worst, and I'm also like, well, yeah, yes, this was high school. You believed in me. College is going to be a different story. The real world's going to be a different story. And she was like, cut that shit out. This is not your last show.
How was she older, significantly older woman than you, or young, or a little bit old? What was her age?
No, definitely older. She was, let's see. She was probably, oh, I hope if she listens to this, I hope she would. I think she was probably early 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes
Better
sense.
not get that wrong.
When I was in high school?
No, oh, no.
Yeah. No, I know.
Woman's age.
I know.
No,
I
it's
mean,
all
maybe
good.
mid 30s to be
I just want to get it. I was just trying to get an image.
She was like mom age, you know? So yeah, so that was, yeah.
How many shows did you do with her?
I did 6 with her.
Were you, throughout high school?
Throughout high school.
Were you, well, because you said you got a lot of the funny roles.
Yeah.
Did you want, well, I mean, it sounds like they were prominent roles, though.
Yeah.
You had, even if they weren't like the lead or whatever it was. Did you want those other, did you want roles that you didn't get at all?
Not really. I was always very pleased with the roles because they were still challenging. There was, and I think I'm like, there was a role that was definitely not my typecast or what I'd ever done, one of the plays. And it was definitely more straight-laced, like journalist type woman, and detective rather. And so that was something different and cool to do and still be like, oh, cool, I can do that too.
So she decided all who got cast, the casting and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing that she knew you and knew what might be good for you and what you would be interested in, and kind of balanced all these things out.
I think
without
so.
Typecasting you or
I think so. And among
limiting you or putting something that you're not going to be comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. And among doing that with the rest of the class too, because we were kind of a theater heavy grade, I guess.
Were you her favorite?
One of.
You were one of the favorites.
I would say one of 4.
One of 4. Oh, so
think so.
You were able to narrow it down to 4.
I think so. Yeah.
What made you sure it was those 4? Is it the most talented or the people that just spent the most time around each other? Is that what it was? Both?
A mix of both.
Yeah.
Like reliability, accountability, talent, and also like welcoming everyone.
Yeah.
You know.
Should I be writing that stuff? Oh
No.
No, those sound like good things. It sounds like motivational. Reliability,
accountability. Yeah.
I was like, damn, fucking Tony Robbins is telling me shit I need to know over there.
Well, we didn't even get into my motivational speaking job yet, but we'll get there.
Is that really a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, we got to get there too.
What about, college?
So college.
Well, yeah, where did you go to school?
College, I went to University of Pittsburgh.
And how far is that from your
About
hometown?
a 6-hour drive.
Yeah, that's not nearby at all.
Yeah, no, it was far enough.
Other side of the state.
Other side of the state, yeah. Pennsylvania in between. A good amount though. Like I would not want to like go to college in California.
Yeah, that's far.
Yeah, it's too far.
That's even further.
Yeah.
Significantly.
Did you go to school in New York?
Syracuse.
Oh, yeah, that
like
was
4
one of
hours
the top schools.
Yeah, 4 hours from Long Island.
Okay,
So it's
nice.
like far enough.
So you did the media program there.
Visual performing arts film.
Oh, cool.
I was in the art school.
The art school.
I didn't have the GPA for their television, radio, film in Newhouse Communications.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think it worked out for the best.
Yeah, I'll say.
Yeah,
for sure. I didn't get in for acting, but I got in for broadcast journalism.
Yeah.
So roles reversed there. Yeah.
None of it matters. It's all what you want to do, and if you pursue what you want to pursue, and lucky enough to have the means to
Totally. And that's kind of why I landed on Pittsburgh, was because it was still like a college environment. I could still, I think my parents did get in my head like, well, what if I don't want to do this? There was still the opportunity.
Yeah, it's a big school with lots of, you could probably do any major there.
Yeah. But I mean, I was in the theater department all 4 years and like studying theater and just, really in it. I got a scholarship to do a program in New York one summer. So I studied at Stella Adler there. And did like a research project on the difference between a liberal arts approach to acting versus a conservatory approach to acting. Wrote a paper for my college, but it was really to just get the classes.
That's funny because I almost did a similar thing for my senior thesis project in college. I wanted to make a documentary comparing and contrasting the television, radio, film program in the communications department versus how the film program in the arts department approaches and sort of like show maybe like the pros and cons. I ended up doing a narrative film anyway, but like that was my thought. So that made me think that the fact that you made a senior
that
written
is
project,
like the same,
basically complaining about the curriculum being limited and access being limited or whatever. That's funny.
Yeah, that's so wild.
Yeah, but you actually did
it. Yeah,
but I was just a paper. I was going to do a.
You were gonna,
I could have written a paper though. I could have done a research like a journal. I'm not a journalist. You were, No, you weren't a journalism major. You went.
My backup is communications. So yeah.
Is it a minor?
A double major.
A double. Oh man, look at you. Are you a nerd or a very academic studious type? Would you say?
So no, I mean, I always struggled in school, but I also couldn't just be like, well, fuck the system.
Yeah.
That wasn't me either. So I always tried really hard, and I would say sort of succeeded. Yeah, I mean, I graduated in 4 years with 2 degrees, so I guess that's something.
Yeah, look at you.
Yeah.
Sweet. Did you enjoy college? I mean, it sounds like you did.
I did, but I was ready to get out when it was over.
Yeah.
I'm
ready to go back.
You want to go back?
No,
not
to work.
Yeah. So yeah, I was ready to leave college. I liked Pittsburgh though; it was a good city to be in because.
Did you keep in touch with Shawn Wright throughout college?
Oh yeah, a little bit.
You did because there was the emails and then the communication, the technology. You were able to keep in touch.
Yeah, right, totally. And then like obviously, I went home for holidays, so I would always see her at Christmas time and.
Where? At the school?
In Doylestown. Yeah, coffee shop. And then when I turned 21, of course, the bars, You
guys would meet up there?
Yeah.
That's like so adult. And
yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I guess because I'm still like thinking about like, my high school teachers. Yeah. And I can't think of like, man, there's a couple of teachers that I liked. And, if the stars aligned, I would meet up for a cup of coffee or drink with them. But I can't imagine like, I just can't imagine that relationship with like the majority of any of those people. Like,
no, I mean,
we're going to be texting and emailing and meeting up with my high school teachers for coffee and drinks.
I mean, she was different though. It was different.
Yeah.
It was more of a.
You had a cool teacher.
She was just like, she did a really good job of balancing being like an authority figure, but also a friend,
Which is that's a tough thing too.
Really tough. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we would see her through college and then after college, I got a job doing, ready for this?
Yeah.
Yo-yo motivational speaking for kids.
Yo-yo motivational speaking?
Yeah. So like, it was a show called The Ned Show. And they trained me to be a professional yo-yo artist to travel.
This is a stage show.
Just stage show, yeah. And perform for kids, telling them to never give up, encourage others, and do your best. And then like the story would be like, I wasn't always good at the yo-yo. Now I'm amazing because I never gave up and I did my best.
So it's about teaching the kids like hard work to see the
hard work and kindness. Yeah. So that job moved me to Cincinnati, Ohio, which was not fun. But I was traveling all the time, so that part was fun.
Where did you travel?
All through the States, Canada, England, Australia.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how were you? Were you on like a bus? You were on planes?
Planes and then rental cars.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That must have been awesome.
It was. I mean, right out of college, also to be like, you're never going to get a job performing. I'm like, guys, I got a job doing yo-yo shows for kids. And
wow.
So yeah, it was I'm very grateful for it. A great job out of college.
Is that yo-yo company still around?
They are. Yeah. I actually just talked to an old coworker today.
I might have to look into this.
Yeah. Yeah, they are very much around. So yeah, I would perform for like 3,000 kids a week. I mean, it was a busy schedule and it was pretty taxing because it was like load in the show, do the show, load out. And
road
it was all
life.
Solo. Yeah, road life.
Yeah. And how long were you doing that for?
I did the first show with them for 2 years.
Wow.
And then they started a new show and moved me out to LA to do that show. So that was 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So I was with the company for about 4 years. Yeah.
Okay. And how did you feel about the company and doing this job? Like towards the end of the run versus you were just burned out.
Just burnt out. Yeah, for sure. And sometimes the travel didn't make sense. And like I had like a 7:30 a.m. show in Palm Springs.
A.M.
A.M. And so
because it's kids and stuff.
Yeah,
so
they're in school. It was like the first thing of their day, and so I had to leave. I had to leave my apartment at like 4. It was just like sometimes the scheduling was so insane, and I was like, "Do you guys know that Palm Springs and LA are not? They're very far away from each other."
Yeah.
So it was like there were a lot of not issues, but like when you're performing and traveling, it just takes a toll on
Yeah.
you.
So
Yeah.
I'm guessing that when you were sent to LA, that's when you maybe started to do stand-up?
That's a good guess. I started actually in Ohio because because like I graduated and I was like, okay, so I got a job performing. This is awesome. And then like, some of my work days I'd do a show at like 2 and I'd be home by like 4 or 5. And I just, because in school, I guess I was always making myself busy and trying to make theater, and
There's always something to do.
There was always something to do, and I felt really like unproductive with my time off after like work. And then I was like, I'm also traveling all the time. I bet if I started doing stand up, I could do it on the road, like a real stand up, which is what I did. So I would just like book myself on mini tours with my company's dime.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's smart. So smart.
Yeah. Thank you. So that's when I started.
So you started doing, so you were in Cincinnati. That was sort of like where your job was based at. But and you would do shows in Cincinnati, but you would also be sent on tours as well.
Yeah, you got it. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. And so when you first started doing stand-up in Cincinnati, I'm guessing you just did some open mics and things like that.
Yeah.
What do you remember about those experiences when you first got into it?
I remember feeling like, oh, okay, like this is hard, but it's also going to be worth it, sort of thing. Like I got, once you get one laugh, you're like, oh, okay, that was the best feeling I've ever gotten in my whole entire life. So it was, I don't know. I didn't have many negative thoughts towards it. And I think part of that too was because I was like, this is supposed to fill my time and like give me a sense of community. I'm not really looking at it as like the career move.
Yeah, I got you.
Which I think took pressure off of me. And then,
but you were doing it regularly.
Yeah,
so
regularly.
Got better. What I imagine. What did you talk about on stage when you first started to go up there?
I talked about I worked at a children's museum, and I talked about dressing up as Clifford.
Yeah, the dog.
And by accident in a photo, I was trying to wave to the camera, but instead I did this with my arm.
You did the Nazi.
Yeah, I did the Nazi salute as Clifford, and the kids were like, so I remember telling that, and I was like, there's something there.
Yeah,
it's like,
sort of. Where's that picture?
Seriously, on someone's mantle.
Social media
that'll be my
photo.
Oh, no, I was going to say that'll be my downfall once all those, what's happening now is people are like, this person.
That's how you know when you've made it, when you have to apologize for something. That's what I tell everyone.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, that was literally an accident. And also because it was the first time I had ever been in a costume like that. So I didn't know like my full range of motion,
blame the costume. On your anti-Semitism. Get out of my studio.
No, not it at all. So it was, but then I was like, this isn't really, it wasn't really my voice, but I knew there was something funny about it because of people that I've heard, you know what I mean? But you're not you. One is not at the level to be able to joke like that yet, you know? So that was like learning experience too. And then once I started just being like, oh, I should just talk about my day job with the kids, and being hungover, telling kids to be great people when I'm like, there's a guy in my hotel whose name, like, who knows?
Oh no.
Starting to like, and that always was fun to do. And then of course I would try to write
you're telling everyone about your double life.
My double life, basically, yeah. And I would try to tailor jokes to certain cities and stuff. So it was I always looked forward to that part of my job.
And you never had any real mentorship or training writing or classes or comedians that would help you? You just kind of just kept going, trial and error, and you... And you loved comedy. Yeah.
And like, I guess I've been writing more than I would give myself credit for, but don't know sometimes like where it's going to end up. I'm not like, oh, this is going to be for my book or this is for stand up, just like writing observations. Like I'd been doing that for a while. So when I went to starting to write stand up, I was like
material to draw from.
Yeah.
Where do you write stuff? In a pad and your phone, on the computer,
on the computer and notebooks. Yeah. And I keep all those books.
Do you transfer the notes from your notebook into the computer?
Only the good ones.
Yeah. I'm always interested in everyone's like organizational systems.
I have some on my phone, but I feel like the system is like phone, notebook, computer, like computers where it's like finalized. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what about once you left the yo-yo people, what happened from there?
So what's crazy is so it was last year, and I definitely kind of not fell out of love with stand-up, but like knew that I wasn't in LA to pursue stand-up, that I was here to pursue acting. So once that I didn't have the job, because the job was super limiting, right? I couldn't audition really. I mean, I could.
Yeah, you're traveling. You can't.
Traveling too much. I couldn't commit to a team of any sort.
You're traveling even when you were based in Los Angeles a lot.
32 weeks of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only 52 in a year. That's 60%.
Right.
Ish.
Yeah.
Close,
Isn't that
right
nuts? Something
Math.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Over half.
Yeah.
So I kind of was like, okay, so I need to get jobs that are going to allow me to audition. It's not necessarily now about being up late doing open mics. It's about getting a set schedule and being able to audition. And then did the web series and still do stand up. Like I produced a stand up show down at the beach. So yeah, it's just been a year of like the next thing.
You have a good balance,
Going
it sounds
after
like, between the stand up and the acting.
I think so. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
What about well, tell me about the web series.
So it's called Adulting Web Series, and it's about you can guess, like just the interim period of like childhood / college to being an adult, you know, all those like finding an apartment, finding, roommates, finding friends. I mean, all those things. That it's a comedic web series just based on two girls.
And you're one of the...
I'm one of the girls, yeah. One friend's the optimist. I'm the pessimist.
Yeah. Is it pretty close to how you are in
real life?
Yeah.
A version, yeah.
A version.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
I'm a little bit more positive than this woman.
That's good.
Yeah.
You write it too with
I wrote a couple episodes for season 2. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Cassidy Davis is the creator and producer. So she kind of handled all of season 1. And I was shooting that and helping with it while with the yo-yo people, which is how you referred to them, which is so funny.
The yo-yo people.
Yeah. And then we did season 2, I guess, all last year within the last year. Yeah.
Did you enjoy writing the episodes?
Yeah.
But you prefer to just show up and do your thing as an actor? Is that your preference?
Yeah, I think so. It's where I feel like I have the most control, but also not. That sounds like a negative thing. It's where I feel like my skill set is used the most, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
is like on set or in a rehearsal, like creating different choices and things like that.
What about Shawn Wright? Did you keep in touch with her beyond college and as you started to pursue even stand up?
She knew about stand up and she was like, she loved that. She was like, that's such a good fit for you. And I think she probably would say that would be a good career path. I don't want to do the road, and it's but. Yeah, I had a really big audition a few months ago, and I had reached out to her because I was like, it was like a general for ABC, and so I was like, this could be it.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you guys keep in touch,
and she was she was like, you've been waiting for this, you're ready, Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you really have someone that you reach out to, like.
Yeah.
Whenever,
and I think about her more than I even should tell. Because like sometimes I'm like, I wonder if I called her what she would tell me right now,
Yeah. And what kind of things do you imagine that she...
Like, oh, I've been there, keep going.
Yeah,
don't let the bullshit get you down, all that.
It's almost like you can hear another person's voice in your head, and that can get you out of your own head in some ways.
Yeah.
Because it's like when you encourage yourself, it's just like, of course I'm going to encourage myself because I'm me, so I have to be here. I'm with me all day. So what am I going to do? Not encourage myself? But if you hear someone else's voice in your head, it sounds more like, believable or something.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You believe that this person would say these things because they probably have and definitely have.
Exactly, yeah. And it takes you out of whatever the block is happening in your mental space.
Yeah.
It takes you out of that by hearing someone else say it, whether it's imaginative or not.
Yeah, no doubt. Do you have plans to meet up with her and get coffee, drinks?
Yeah, hopefully at Christmas time.
Gotcha.
That's usually
the holidays.
The holiday
when
season.
When you go home, that seems to be when.
Yeah.
And what about like what would be like the dream or the long-term goal as far as like career wise, like with performing? Is it to get an Oscar? Is it to be on SNL cast? Is it even though stand up is not your priority, would you want to have the HBO special or whatever the case may be? What's the ideal?
I think you're in the vein with SNL. And yeah, I think you're in the right vein with that. I don't think it's going to be movies. I don't think it's going to be stand-up. I think it's going to be, I would love to create a show and run a show and be like also in it.
Yeah, whether it's like a variety comedy show or
a scripted show. Yeah.
Well, you gotta have both.
I don't know if you saw Dead to Me this year.
I haven't.
Netflix show. So the creator of that, she was a groundling, which is where I'm studying now. And she's like a funny woman, but Dead to Me is like this super, I mean, it's a dark, I wouldn't call it a dark comedy. I guess I would. I don't know.
It sounds like it.
It's a dark show, but super well written and she's not in it, but she created it. And I'm like, oh, wow, maybe that's what I want.
To perform it.
To create something, but then also be in it, But SNL, I mean, sure.
I hear you. Well, you're doing all the right things. You're working. It sounds like you've been doing the right things for a long time.
Yeah,
I've been at it.
Yeah,
you were writing before you even knew you were.
Was like writing.
Going to be for anything.
It's true. That's true. Yeah, I have to remind myself of that sometimes, though. Yeah. I'm like starting to get more peace of like your time is going to come. Just like keep doing what you're doing.
Trust the process.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Well, what do you got upcoming? Anything you want to plug? I could tell people where they can find you. And reach
totally.
Out to you
well, plug because I still do love stand up. So I have a monthly show down in Redondo Beach at Comedy at the Slip. It's the third Sunday of every month. It's right on the beach or right on the pier rather at the Slip Bar. I already said that. Okay, here we go. November 17th. So that's where I'll be, but you can definitely like my Instagram at Mallory Fuccella.
2 C's, 2 L's?
2 C's, 2 L's.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks again. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. It was fun. Very fun. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, you got it. I learned a lot.
Yeah. I talked a lot. Okay. Thanks so much.
Anytime. You got it. Talk soon.
Bye.
So there you have it. My conversation with Mallory Jean Fuccella. Truth be told, I don't think I know how to yo-yo. Or maybe I do, and it's just been a long time since I've had a yo-yo in my hands. Seriously, that was a lot of fun, and I thank Mallory Jean Fuccella again for her time. Anyway, for everything about this show, of course, head to peoplewelovepodcast.com. And I think that's about all I got for today. I appreciate you guys listening. Thanks as always, and let's talk soon. Peace.